Hello and welcome. I hope that you are all doing well. Thank you so much for joining me here today to talk about books. I'm going to warn you that it's a little breezy out today, so you might hear some wind noises. I'm going to talk a little louder, so hopefully we don't have to deal with that interfering with your ability to hear me. Today we will be talking about the book that I read to fulfill the prompt to read a book written by an author who has written a book you like and create a playlist based on the book. We will talk about the books first and then we'll talk about the playlist. And the book I chose was Carrie by Stephen King. And it's a book that I've wanted to read for a very long time, but I wasn't sure just how scary it would be. And then in late 2022, I read another book that was written as an homage to Stephen King, and I was determined to finally read Carrie. And now I have. So this book has an interesting history. At the time Stephen King was writing it, he became dissatisfied with it, and he threw it in the garbage. His wife Tabitha retrieved it from the garbage, read it, and encouraged him to keep writing it. And so he has dedicated the book to This Is for Tabby, who got me into it and then bailed me out of it. And it was his first published book. So how was it? I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. Carrie is a junior in high school who has never fit in with her peers, and they remind her of this in little ways. Carrie's father is dead, and her mother is deeply scrupulous. She sees evil everywhere, especially in her daughter, who she wants to improve. Something traumatic happens at school. You might know what it is because it's very well known about this book, but I'm not going to go into what it is. But something traumatic does happen at school, and one of her classmates feels guilty about how she reacted. The classmate wants to help Carrie feel more a part of things, and so this classmate asks her friend, her boyfriend, to take Carrie to the prom, and he agrees to do that. They both want Carrie to have a nice time and enjoy herself. In a way, hopefully it'll make up for everything she's had to deal with. Carrie is hesitant to accept the invitation because his experience has taught her they don't like her, they make fun of her, and she feels like she's just being set up for something. In the end, she accepts the invitation knowing that her mother isn't going to like it. In addition to all this, it turns out that odd things have happened around Carrie since she was very young, especially when she's upset. And she's about to take control of that. I love the way the story is presented. There are newspaper reports and book excerpts interspersed with the story. In this book, the author has a way of making us look into ourselves and recognizing the horrible things that humans are capable of and do on a daily basis. I've often thought of myself as someone who is scared to read scary books, which might explain why it's taken me so long to read some of these books that I perceive as scary. But was Carrie really scary? Not really. What was scary was how believable it was. Carrie's a sympathetic character, yet I could see someone like her who is out of step with her peers and not well cared for, going to school and being outcasted there as well. What are other books to read for a similar experience? I have to start with the book that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the book that was written as an homage to Stephen King. And it is The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. And it's inspired by Carrie, but it takes it in a completely different direction. Maddie Johnson has always been targeted by her classmates, and she's just dealt with it because she has more important things going on. She has a secret that her father insists she keeps secret, but one day a rainstorm reveals that secret. Her classmates are shocked. Some even claim to feel betrayed. But truth be told, they've been bullying Maddie for years. One of her classmates, once again, convinces her boyfriend to invite Maddie to the prom. Maddie agrees to go. Although this sounds really similar to Carrie, there are some very different aspects of this book from Carrie. So if you've read Carrie and you like Carrie, you really need to read this. If you haven't read Carrie and you kind of want to, you can read this one first and then go back and read Carrie if you like this one. I'm going to add one more book here, and it is Misery, also by Stephen King. It's different in that the main character is an author. He's best-selling author Paul Sheldon, and when he is involved in an accident, Annie, a former nurse, brings him to her house to help him heal. She's his #1 fan, as she tells him, but as he heals, he learns that she doesn't like how his last book was written, and she's demanding that he write another book. Misery contains more gruesome scenes than the other books I've mentioned today, but if you're up for it, it's worth the read. You may be wondering what I created for a playlist, and I based it on two things. There are a couple songs that are mentioned in the book Carrie itself, and there are books that were popular at the time that the story takes place. So the book was written in 1974, but it was actually set in 1979. So my playlist is a combination of the top songs in 1979 and a song that was mentioned in the book. So here's my playlist. If you are interested in taking a closer look at it, you can just hit pause and read it. And there we are. I hope that you enjoyed this look at Carrie and other books to read for a similar experience. We've got one more book this month, and I will be back very soon to talk about that one, and it is the manga classic of Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. I hope that you will join me then, and until then, I hope that you enjoy all that you do and all that you read. And thank you.